Alright lads, and welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be around a guy that's actually in Bobag FC, but I think after this video I'll be asking you who should replace him in Bobag FC, because some of the points that he made in this wee video clip that I'm away to show you after the Scotland game the other night, they're very poignant and he speaks every word of the truth. So the man we're talking about here is Kris Boyd. So as I just said, we're replacing Kris Boyd in Bobag FC. Let me know who can take his place by commenting in the comments below. Cheers lads. Now, the reason he's in Bobag FC is because a lot of his genuine kind of journalistic articles for different news outlets have been quite controversial in the last year or so. I put him in Bobag FC because of that reason, that I just didn't think he was that great of a character. Obviously a good footballer in his heyday, but in terms of the stuff that he was doing at this point in his career, I was never fully behind it. But Kris Boyd has really done himself a few favours with this one, because after the Scotland defeat the other night, he went on to talk about why he feels like young people in Scotland just aren't coming through the system in as good a form as they once did. And I'm going to show you the clip right now, and I'm going to talk about certain points that he brought up.
We see no ball game signs up everywhere you go now. Why? We don't like to play in the street. You keep hearing about kids in South America playing football everywhere. We're encouraging people not to do it. And then we keep on, all kids want to do is play computers and do this. They've nothing else to do.
The first point he brought up was the no ball games allowed signs that you see plastered up over Scotland these days, and the fact that kids in South America are playing football on the streets, and you see it everywhere, and it's praised around the world really for how well they do that for their kids, and they let them just have free rein of the streets to be able to go and play football and express what they love. And then we are encouraging people not to do it. And he's completely correct. I mean, the no ball game signs have been around for a while now. The only other alternative in the last 10 or so years has been getting to AstroTurf pitches, or if your public park had a sort of cage facility, which you obviously had a wee football pitch in. It was more of a concrete ground than an AstroTurf obviously, and that's what I've got locally just now. The cage facility down at Alva's Park is fine, you can get in there free, but you don't really see many kids down there now. And especially at the AstroTurf as well, down at my local high school, that used to be, it would be pretty much open every single weekend. Now it's pretty much closed all the time, and you have to pay a couple of pounds each time to come in and actually use the facility, despite the fact you're not doing any harm by being on it, you're just wanting to go and play football. And it was fine about 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say, and ever since then it's really died off. And I'm talking about my own local one here. I assume it's quite a similar scenario throughout Scotland as well.
We'll put all weather pitches up. Oh, they're great, fantastic, but kids need to pay a fortune to actually get on them there.
The second point he goes on to make is about how it costs a fortune and all weather pitches have been made, but they cost a fortune to get on them. And that's kind of links into what I was talking about just there. The fact that about 4 or 5 years ago I was able to go down with mates at the time and play on the AstroTurf pitch without any cost involved, and now to get on it you probably do need to pay a good couple of pounds to use the facility, which from their perspective, from the owner of the AstroTurf pitch's perspective, is probably fair. But considering it was fine about 4 or 5 years ago, and we're now forcing kids, young kids from all ages, to pay a certain amount to play on the pitch when they're just wanting to go and play a bit of football with their mates, it does discourage kids from wanting to go and play football, and then that in turn affects what they want to do in their future career, because they don't get the opportunity to go and play football as much now as they would have, and even just as I said 4 or 5 years ago. It's different with playing on the streets, of course, because there is more problems involved with playing football on the streets, but it should be allowed in certain areas, I feel. There's obviously areas that you can't play it in because it's just obvious that you would end up damaging something, but for signs to be pretty much everywhere around Scotland, it's not entirely indicative of promoting the youth in Scottish football, and it is why we don't have kids coming through really, or at least not kids that are really enthusiastic about the game and really progressing to the highest level.
It's now a middle class sport, and to be honest, being a footballer now is not the be all and end all for kids coming through.
And the last thing that he makes the point in is saying that football is now a middle class sport and it's not the be all and end all for kids coming through now. They don't want to be football players as much as they maybe want to be something else in a career path now. First point about it being a middle class sport, that's obviously to do with the cost of football, and that can stretch to anything as far as the ticket prices, etc. It's just not an affordable venture for a lot of people now, and as prices keep going up, people decide year on year to not go to the football, etc. For example, the 2 Scotland games that just took place, I most likely would have chosen to go to the Scotland v Russia game at Hampden Park, but it was like £30 for an adult's ticket or something like that. So why should people accept that as a charge when they could just as easily sit and watch it at home without having to pay anywhere near as much as that? It's just a bit disappointing to have prices go up and up every single year, and especially when the national team hasn't done great for years now. Surely we should be encouraging people to come in rather than upping the ante every single year in terms of the price of it, and just outpricing people from being able to come and support their country, or, as the point that Kris Boyd is making here, more about actually people being able to use facilities to then progress and want to be footballers and better our country. And that leads nicely on to him obviously making the point about it not being the be all and end all for kids coming through now, and they don't particularly have a desire to be footballers as much as they would have even just 15 years ago. There has been a drop off, and there will continue to be, because as like with football fans, as price rises to be able to use facilities, to be able to go to football games, to be able to do whatever involving football, if you keep outpricing people, they're just going to lose interest eventually, because money is a massive thing for people in general life, and that's before you even take into the fact they've got hobbies like football. And general life is always going to overtake a hobby that you've got on the side, and if you can afford to do something else rather than go and practice football and have no guarantees that you're actually going to make it to the level that you expect to make it at or you want to make it at, then I'm pretty sure the vast majority of people would choose to just go down a different career path and just do football, but not in the way that you're going to get any sort of success out of it. And it's just common sense, and I just don't get why we're forcing people out of our game. It's detrimental to the country, it's detrimental to how we perform as a nation, and we're seeing it time and time again now. Scotland failing to qualify for European competitions, Euro after Euro, World Cup after World Cup. We're now not automatically qualifying for the Euro 2020, and we're having to go into a playoff round against a couple of teams in the Nations League to be able to get to the Euro 2020, and that's no certainty either. So all the points that this man Kris Boyd made in that wee clip there are thoroughly acceptable, and he's made no points wrong. So what I'm going to say is, if you're still here in this video, please let me know which person should replace Kris Boyd in Bobag FC, because I don't think he deserves his place in it anymore. And we've only got 3 members of Bobag FC, so we really do need one more. Let's see Kris Boyd out of Bobag FC, and you lot can welcome in a new member by commenting in the comments below. But that's it for this video, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Comment down below what you think of this whole scenario, and are we outpricing people from playing in our game, and what is the main problem and how can we fix it? Subscribe for more of this type of content, and until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.